and we're just in this such a loving, amazing, magical state. What can go wrong in that state?
Yes.
Nothing, right? Nothing can go wrong in that state, right?
All of us, you, us, are all amazing at avoiding things. Hello everyone, hello world, wherever you are at. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. See Savanh, my beautiful, amazing wife, business partner, Phyllis Savanh.
Hi.
And look, we're back, and this is a phenomenal topic so far. This is a really hot topic. What ruined your marriage? So this is in the series, and this is episode 6 that we're coming with you today. And what ruined your marriage is a series that we're going to run. I don't know how long it's going to go, but again, I just know there was a big old list of some of the things that I did. There's a very small list of what she did. And there's probably a huge list of what you did as well that ruined your marriage, or somebody in your life, your friend, family member, somebody you love and care about, has a big list as well, that this could definitely impact their life. So again, like our video, comment on it, and share it with, implement it first off in yourself, as well as share it with anybody you love, because this could be helpful to somebody else. This could save a marriage, a relationship, families, and basically impact somebody's life and help them progress and make progress and move forward, right?
Yes.
So, but before we get into it, always, my wife has some announcements.
You already say it. Like, comment,
oh, we did
subscribe.
that already?
Yes.
Oh, anyway, I already said that, I guess. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. So,
and honey, that's not an announcement. You can just
that's an announcement?
tell me about it. Yes.
Oh, I thought there was an announcement.
Sorry, you kind of knew it.
I thought it was all announcements. Anyways,
communication. Talk more. Okay, let's talk more about this.
So the topic today, guys, this is episode 6. The topic today is not dealing with things head on. Okay? When you don't deal with things head on, you tend to hold back, you suppress feelings, you suppress thoughts, you suppress really everything, and it builds, right? It becomes a big monster. And you got to kill it before the monster gets big. You got to put out the fire before the flame before it becomes a forest fire.
Yes.
Right? You got to suppress it before the volcano explodes, or the tipping point and the teapot, screams at the top of its lungs because it's hot. You got to stop it there. You got to simmer the water down there. Okay? And I was horrible at this. I don't know. She'll share you her version of whether she's horrible, and I definitely was. Right? I bottled everything up. So I was wearing always everything, tight to the chest. Right? I rocked the boat, didn't want to rock the boat. I just kept a lot of things in that ultimately created a lot of resentment, and even little things that she would say, even if it was good things or improvements, because I didn't think of them or because I didn't do them, it felt like, even though she was right, it sounded like more criticism. Does that make sense? Why? Because we're so emotionally, inside, so really wound up, because everything's brewing on the inside. It's not talked about. It's not dealing with it. It's not really, talked about, or really how to improve it. It's just within, right? So, do you want to share with you in this particular topic? Any stories that we have? I
think just kind of what Sis always say. Kill the monster while it is small. Because as a women, we do have a history book that's thick, maybe like this thick or whatever it is. We do remember a lot more than the men do.
They have floors. They have a second floor.
Yeah, keep talking, keep going. See what we're gonna get there. See, that's what I deal with head on, but maybe with a better attitude, right? But can you relate? Can we relate to it? I think dealing with it head on is definitely great. And obviously there's going to be how and what, and, how do you do it? And again, we're going to be, sharing with that, in other episodes later on. But the key is, yeah, deal with it head on because, I get to a point where, I just keep bottling up. And at the end, I just give him the ring back. And he was surprised. He's like, why are you giving me the ring back? I was like, I had enough. She's like, whoa, there's no yellow light before get to the red light. We just go straight to red light, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's very important, and thank God that we save our marriage back, and we realize that there's a lot of people out there that is doing that, and then because of that, we have been starting to have this mission, to help other people, untie, like if you have, yeah,
Unstuck.
Unstuck. Yeah, unstuck. There you go. So
Unstuck.
Yeah. You're always right. Honey. You're always right. Go for it. Whatever you want to say.
And we're gonna share with you 3 tips. Okay, 3 tips today. First things first is very, very easy to do. Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, talk about it. Take it head on. Talk about it. And when you talk about it, I'm gonna give you a tip on how to do it. Actually, because if your partner does something or says something, the worst thing you could do is go to them and say, I really don't like the way you said this or the way you did this, so stop doing it. Don't do that. Just say, hey, honey, the way you did this or said this is how it made me feel. Mm-hmm. That's the best way about it. Because when you see that, and if they love you, which they do,
mm-hmm.
they always want to make you feel the best in the world.
Yes.
So when you say, this is what it made me feel, they will figure it out. They will course correct themselves.
Yes.
Because your partner wants to be your hero.
Yes.
Okay? They want to be your hero. They want to make you feel like a hero as well. So the worst thing in the world for them is making you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's first thing is talk about it. Always talk about it. That, we do that now, right? I didn't before, and now it's before when we do it, we did talk. I would talk like that, or she would talk like that. Hey, when you did it, stop doing that. And it becomes more criticism. Now we're like, hey, this is how it made me feel, and the partner's like, wow, it's amazing. We talk about it, right? And then the second tip is evaluate it. Evaluate it,
mm-hmm.
right? Evaluate what you're doing or evaluate certain things. Like, for example, look in your relationship and just evaluate. Have the talk where, let's look at how we're doing, right? And look how we're doing, what's great in our life and what's not so great in our life. And really just let's evaluate it, like communication, for example, talking. What do you think on a week-to-week basis, how are we doing in terms of how we communicate, how we talk to each other? Right? Evaluate. Mm-hmm. From a scale of 1 to 10, where
yes.
are we?
Yes.
And let's assume that you definitely want to get on the same page. Why? Because if I believe that we're communicating great, we're talking great, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're definitely an 8. But then when you evaluate it, she's like, we're more like a 5. Ooh, huge. There's a big separation, big gap there. Why? Right? Because now that's where the issues. No wonder the issues are creeping into your marriage or relationship because you think you're at an 8, she's at a 5. Right? That's what I mean by evaluate it. And then don't get offended when she believes that it's at 5 and you think don't get offended when he thinks it's at an 8. Right? And like, wow, that's a big disconnect. Where do we want to be at? And let's really get there. If you want to be at an 8 or even 9 or even at 10, at least now both of you guys know where you're at and where you want to go. Right? Mm-hmm. So evaluate it. And then once you evaluate it, that one thing, communication or intimacy, how's our intimacy? Or how am I doing at providing you certainty or, a variety in our life, right? New things like that. How are we doing in our love and connection, right? Evaluate those things after you talk about, evaluate them. And then the third tip is follow up and then reevaluate. So if you guys talked about intimacy in your lives, how are we doing with intimacy?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, we're like at a 10, man. And she's like 5, right? Or she thinks that, she's given enough and you're like, oh, not enough yet, right? And you put that number up and then later on, couple weeks, check back, follow up. Just say, hey, how are we doing, by the way, with our intimacy, our love and connection, our communication? And you reevaluate, like, actually, we have improved. Great. Are we there yet? Are we at that number we want to be? Are we at 9 or 10 like we want to? Not yet. We're getting there. Okay, perfect. How can we get there? Now you're shooting for a goal that you guys have a common interest to get to.
Yes.
Right? You have a common interest, and then you are willing to do whatever it takes. Because then back to that old feeling, right? Your partners, yourselves, always want to make the other partner feel amazing.
Yep.
Feel great. Feel enough. The two biggest fears any human has is that they are not enough which ultimately makes them feel not loved. Okay? So your partner always wants to feel enough and feel loved. So
Yes.
this is how you do it. So your take on all of that?
He just kind of changed it up on me.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yes.
You know, honey.
So
why do
talk
you do
about it.
that?
What do you think
Yeah,
about talk
yeah.
about it?
We really need to evaluate this.
Yes,
and
evaluate.
reevaluate
Yes.
it because this is not the first time we evaluate about it.
So what do you think?
I think like I said, most of you here are business couples. You have done this. You have done this in your business most likely, very amazingly. Sometimes we just forget to do that in our marriage,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes we say, yeah, you should run your marriage like a business, but not 100%. But some of the stuff still need to be talked to. Need to be evaluated and reevaluate, right? It's kind of like when you set a goal. And have you reached that goal, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be really passionate in love with each other, what are the things that you do to get there, right? And also, it's not about what you want, it's about what your customer want, right? So it's not about what I want. Well, it is pretty important about what I want, but it's also very important that what does he want, because if you're doing everything your way and not his way, you will lose the attraction, the polarity, right? Because do you really want to date another you? That's a good question.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, yeah, we kind of, but well, if you become 100% me, things is gonna get really boring. That's the reason why you get attracted to the very opposite of you. That's why it's very important to talk, evaluate, and reevaluate.
Yeah.
So in that way, you constantly know, right? It's kind of like when you're losing weight, when you're stepping on the scale, where you are. A relationship is the same thing, and that's the reason why we always have a date night. And during the date night, we always talk about it. We usually do not talk about them when emotion it's really high. It's like when I'm in fight, we're definitely not gonna ask, where do you think we are at on scale 1 to 10? You're just gonna, you're just
low
gonna...
energy at that point. Low energy.
Yeah.
Like for example, we're in Cancun.
Yep.
So we have these type of conversations here.
Yep.
Right? Why? Because we're in our peak state, high energy state. It's beautiful. Kids are not around.
Mm-hmm.
No parents, no business. Some business. But regardless, right, we're beautiful ocean right over there, and it just the key is now we could talk about these things and find time to talk about them. And timing is very, very important, right? So this is when we do it.
Yeah, and again, when you're talking, when you're doing it, for me, the old him, when I need to talk to him, I make sure that he's fed. He has some wine with him, so he's relaxed and he's full.
She basically gets me drunk, is what she's saying.
I make sure that he's in a good mood before we talk, because you position yourself to success, right? In your business, do you do that to get your business successful? If you do, marriage is the same thing. You got to make sure that your partner are in a good state. It's ready to listen to you. Don't just talk about it. If he's on the conference call, say, hey, by the way, I just want to hop in and I got to tell you about this. Just like what he said just now too. Like, hey, but I got to ask you a question. But hey, I'm in the shower. Can you just wait for a little bit?
Yeah.
But you might be laughing right now, because you must have relate a lot to it, right? Especially the men. The women too. I watched another movie last night, and the movie was just saying, the girls were just bust into the garage, and the guy was doing a fantasy football, and it talks about it. There's no women supposed to be in here, but she just went in there and she just go for it. It just there's a time and space for everything, right?
Yes.
But again, talking will get you going. Evaluate will get you to know where you are. Reevaluate will follow up to make sure that you follow through with what you have said.
Yep.
So I do believe that they are very, very important, and they definitely have helped us get from where we were to where we are right now. And and last night it was really magical, because we were here listening to a lot of amazing love songs and eat a bunch of good food, listening to the wave, on the beach, and talk about what we really want, where we are, how we evaluate it, and we're just in this such a loving, amazing, magical state. What can go wrong in that state?
Yes.
Nothing,
Yes.
right? Nothing can go wrong in that state, right? So again, we just want to urge you, applaud you, and please, just put that in the comment. Let us know how you feel. Have you guys talked? Where are you at? Or send us an email. If you really want to know more about it, or you want to do have another topic that you want to talk to us about. Just go to love, LOVE, at unleashmarriage.com, LOVE at unleashmarriage.com. We're gonna put the link down below, so in that way, you can email us and let us know, what are the stuff that get you stuck, and how can we help you get unstuck,
Yes.
or where you are right now, and where you need to go.
And we'll definitely goal is to help you close that gap in your relationship, your business, your family, as well as your own personal growth. So, again, the title of it is "What Ruined Your Marriage," and topic is not dealing with things head on. I was really, really good at this. And three, to summarize the 3 tips, please talk about it. Second is evaluate the things that you are going on in your life, and then do follow up and reevaluate it, because this is how you get to the next level life and relationship and everything. So again, hello world, wherever you are at, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We love you, and we are always here to over deliver, and we will show it through our actions and impact your life. So thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to talking to you again on this series. It's going to go for a few more times, more episodes. So this is episode number 6 that we're giving to you today. Okay, so have a blessed day. Bye.
Bye.